Hey friends, today I'm going to show you how I make my sandwich bread with fresh milled flour. We're going to go from the very beginning, milling the flour, to the very end, pulling the bread out of the oven. So let's do it. So to start off with, I use this Loaf brand. Palaus, I don't know. This is what it looks like. This is the wheat berries that I use. So I am using hard white wheat. That's what you want to use when you make just a loaf of sandwich bread. And it looks like this before you mill it. Okay? I just get this off of Amazon. I'm sure you can get it from their website or other places, but I'm a Prime member, so that's just easiest for me. You're going to need a kitchen scale for this. We're going to measure in grams. So I'm going to put my bowl on there. Zero it out. And then I'm going to measure out 500 grams of wheat berries. So let's see. Oh, 501, perfect. And I need some more wheat berries. So this is my NutriMill Impact, and this is what I use to mill the wheat berries into flour. It's pretty new. I've really liked it so far. It works perfectly for me. However, it is very loud, so I will spare you the noise. But I'm going to pour in my wheat berries, and then I'm going to mill them on the finest setting that this has. So, be right back. And now we have fresh milled flour. That probably took 5 minutes, but I started out on the finest setting 1, and I really don't think it was doing anything. So I just turned to 2, and then it ate it right up. So it's fine. It'll still make bread, I promise. So we're gonna open our canister. Oh yeah, okay. Let me tippy tap that rotisserie chicken. All right. And now we have fresh milled flour. Beautiful. Okay, now we need 360 grams of warm water. So let's, oh cute. Oh, we're close. Oh, okay, got it. All right, we're gonna put our water in our KitchenAid bowl. We need 30 grams of honey. I'm just gonna measure it right in this bowl. Make my life easy. Honey going in. All right, 30 grams. And lastly, we need 7 grams of dry active yeast. So I have instant dry yeast, 1 in a mill, and I keep it in the freezer so it stays fresh. And I just pull it out when I need it. So we need 7 grams of that. Roughly 2 teaspoons. Yep. And that's all we need. I like to get a spatula because I know the honey settles on the bottom. So I get a spatula and I just kind of scrape the bottom and stir everything together until it's combined. And then we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes until we start seeing some bubbles and activity happening. All right, we're back about 5 minutes later, and this is the foaming and activity that you're going to be looking for. So this is ready to move forward. Next step is to add 30 grams of olive oil. So I got my bowl on my scale again. We're just going to drizzle it in. Almost. Okay, 30 grams of olive oil. And then we want to dump in our flour. So this, I milled the exact flour that I need for this bread, so I'm just going to dump it all in slowly. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Perfect. From there, we're going to get her all hooked up, and we're going to use our dough hook attachment. Okay. And we're going to stir on 2 for 2 minutes. All right, so 2 minutes, here we go. I did stop halfway through because you see things are getting hung up on the side. So I'm just taking my spatula and getting it off of there so that it'll all incorporate. Okay, back to the 2 minutes. Much better. All right, this is what we're looking like after 2 minutes. And now we have to give the flour some time to absorb that moisture. So we're going to let it sit in the bowl how it is, untouched, for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, and this is what your dough should look like after that 15-20 minute mark. Not too much different. All right, now we're going to add our salt, which is our last ingredient. We need 10 grams of salt. That was a lot. Come on. There we go. Okay, 10 grams of salt. We put it back in the KitchenAid. And now we're going to use our dough hook to knead it some more. We're going to put it on speed 2, and we're going to knead it for 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, this is what it looks like after kneading for 6 to 8 minutes. Next, we want to coat a bowl with olive oil, just a little bit, and I just get my hands in here. It's fine. It's all good. Well, feels a little gross, but it's not hurting nobody. Okay, my hands are clean. I just washed them. All right, so we coat a bowl with olive oil, and then we want to put our dough in this bowl. So let me get it off the hook here. We're going to put our dough in our olive oil greased bowl. That's cute, ain't it? All right. Got all the dough. We're going to just give it a little spin and get it all coated with olive oil so it won't stick. I'm just going to kind of patty cake it down. I'm not going to mess with it too much. Okay, we got a little lump in a bowl. We're going to cover it lightly. I like it to breathe, so I'm just going to set this on top. Okay, and we're going to let it sit here and let it rise for an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, we don't want to mess with it until it's roughly doubled. So could be an hour, could be an hour and a half based on the temperature of your home. You just want to keep an eye on it. So I would check on it within an hour. If it hasn't quite doubled, wait a little longer. Okay, and this is what we're looking like after 1 hour only. So we are ready to move forward. Now you need a 9x5. I like to use metal loaf pan. This is what mine looks like. We're going to take some butter, and we're just going to butter this girl up so that nothing sticks to my pan when it comes out of the oven. So we're just going to grease her up real good. Now we're going to take our dough, and we're just going to dump it out on the counter. it shouldn't be very sticky. So come on. Come on, girl. And there we go. Okay. So what you want to do is take your little pile of dough and make like a rectangle. Like you're basically shaping it to fit into your pan. So I just kind of stretch it out. You don't want to work with it too much. Okay, so I put it in a rectangle. I fold one side in, fold the other side in. So now I got like a long hot dog. Then I just roll, 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 like so. Okay, and now we've made a loaf. And I just kind of push the sides down and under. Okay, so that it's kind of closed. You want to pinch up any seam so that you get a solid, nice loaf. Then I'm turning it and just kind of shaping it back to the log form. Okay, and then I'm gonna dump it in my pan just like this. Okay, and now we wait again. This time we're gonna wait for 30 to 60 minutes. I'm just gonna cover it with a towel. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we're just gonna wait. And what we're looking for is for the top to raise above the pan about 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So when we come back, this loaf will be spread out over the whole pan and risen, and then we know it's ready to put in the oven. So see you in about 30 minutes. All right, it's been 30 minutes, and I'm taking a look at my bread right now, and it's not filled the whole pan, and it's not quite 1.5 inches above the rim, aka it hasn't puffed up enough for me. So I'm gonna give it, I don't know, 15 more minutes, see what it'll do. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start my oven preheating at 350 degrees. And hopefully by the time it's heated up, we're ready to put it in. All right, this is what I like to see. So we have a healthy rise over the rim of the pan, and it's completely filled the pan at this point. So we're ready to stick it in the oven. Go ahead and put it on your middle rack and bake for 35 minutes. Woo! Look at that. Yummy. All right, and now we have a loaf of bread. I like to go ahead and just get it on out of there. Oop! If you butter your pan good, it should slide right out. That's hot. Oh. All right. There's our sandwich bread. I also, right when it comes out of the oven and it's still hot, I like to melt some butter in the microwave and just brush it on top so it soaks in and it makes a really nice, yummy, soft crust. Everything's better with butter, baby. All right, and from here, when you got your butter on, you just want to let this sit and not mess with it for probably at least an hour. I like to wait 2 hours. You want it to completely cool down before you cut it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait a few hours and then we'll slice it and I'll show you how I store it. All right, my friends, we did it. So here is our loaf after it's cooled down in all her glory, looking fabulous. Now we're going to cut the loaf. So I need to get my bread knife. Okay, and I'm just going to slice it up in, whatever size slices you like. And I'm just going to slice it up. You can slice it however thick or thin you like. And when we do that, I don't really put pressure. I just let the knife glide through the bread and saw back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I do like to cut these a little thicker, maybe than you would see at the store, just because it's easier to handle. So if you're not going to eat the full loaf in about 3 days, I would go ahead and freeze it while it's fresh. After 3 days, it starts getting a little funky. So me and my husband don't eat this much bread in 3 days. So I have parchment paper that I've already cut, and I just reuse it until it's too raggedy to use, and a freezer bag. That's all we need. So I just leave out whatever I might be eating in the next day or so. And for the rest, I just freeze it in pairs like that, like a sandwich. And then if I have enough parchment, then I will stick it between every slice sometimes. If I just want, one slice of toast or whatever. But bread thaws out really quickly, so, if I want a slice, I just pull it out and either pop it in the toaster or just let it thaw out. It takes like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, not long at all. And you're ready to go. So I just package it in my little freezer bag. And I'm going to eat that piece. Make sure you get all the air out that you can. And that's it. Pop it in the freezer and you've got fresh bread for a week.